Welcome back, listeners, to Toxic Waste of Time. I'm Katie.
And I'm Ivy.
Hey, you did it. Okay. This week, we're continuing our conversation about political differences, political and religious differences.
And religious, yeah.
Because they're the same, apparently.
Now they are, yeah.
We're continuing our conversation about that. And after last episode, it really turned out to be more about our relationships with religion, like our own background about that and how we're feeling about that now. I think this time we might get into more of the politics. All the things that you're not supposed to talk about, I guess, if you're polite.
Yeah.
Which we're not.
When I was a kid, you didn't tell anybody who you were voting for.
Yeah. Well, now you don't have to tell anyone. They just look at you and know.
Well, you'd think. Sometimes you're wrong. That's actually, I listened to a political podcast. These two women, they have a podcast called I've Had It. And with the Donald Trump era, they kind of branched. They have two podcasts now. They do a second one called iHip News. And that's kind of where I get my news. And they say all the time, they are two wealthy, they don't say wealthy, but they are two wealthy blondes from Oklahoma. They look like they voted for Trump.
Yeah.
And one of them is a former evangelical. So they, and they're awesome. I love them. Oh. But you can't look at them and know who they voted for. Me? Yeah, you can look at me and know who I voted for.
I think you can smell the liberal on me.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, the parents at my old school could smell it on me. They were like, oh, you sponsored the Gay Straight Alliance? Fucking libtard?
Yeah.
So
all of my parents' friends apparently warned them about me when I was young, so.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a high honor. You're the bad influence, Ivy.
Yeah, they didn't let me hang out with their kids, and my parents were so disappointed.
Wow. Okay, well.
Roll the wheel. Roll the wheel.
Number.
Spin the wheel.
Roll it.
Olympics.
Okay. Olympics. All right.
Olympics.
What relationship do I have with the Olympics? I love it. I love the Olympics. The Olympics are dope. Yeah. I don't really enjoy sports very much, but I do enjoy the Olympics. And this past Olympics, which was the Winter Olympics, was fabulous. I got my husband to watch figure skating with me, and he was just as into it as I was, you know. Ilya Malinin, he was like all about Ilya Malinin. He was like, that kid is cool as shit. I want to see him win. I want to see him do those quads. And then, of course, that's not what happened. I don't know if you're up to date on it, but I can catch you up if you're
not up to date on anything Olympic related.
Figure skating specifically, that's what we were into. Because I was a figure skater growing up. I was not like good, but I did figure skating. So I know some stuff about figure skating. And then we got to watch Alyssa Liu win the gold medal for the women. And it was stunning and amazing. And Alyssa Liu is the best human I've ever seen. I love her so much.
Wow.
So if you're unfamiliar, listeners, go look her up.
Okay.
And
good for her.
She came back and had the most amazing gold medal performance, like, and just was smiling.
Did she win
the whole
gold?
time. She won the gold,
She won gold
medal.
Oh, good for her.
She won, and her performance is incredible. Like, she did this flawless routine, landed all her jumps spectacularly. The joy radiating out of her was just like so inspiring. That, you know, you can do things on your own terms. You don't have to abuse yourself to be successful or tolerate abuse from other people to be successful, you know. So she finished her routine and then she kind of like flipped her little hair and was like, well, that was fun, you know. I just love her so much.
I like that.
So if you don't know her, you need to go look her up, Ivy. But anyway, that was my like 10-minute rant about the Olympics.
Well, I actually have no relationship with the Olympics, I don't think. I've watched some of the Olympics. I remember being pissed off that everyone made such a big deal that Michael Phelps hit a bong, so the fuck what?
Oh my God, I know. There's always some drama.
I just think that things like that are so rigid. And it's like you said with that one girl, it's like, I think there should be a balance between what you do. Even if you love to do it, you still deserve to have a life outside of what that is.
Yep.
And I feel like some of them probably do love it, but some of them are probably quite abused. And that's bothersome. I also just think everyone should just be chill and have fun. And I don't like the rigid shit. But I did watch on Traders Tara Lipinski and Johnny.
Yes. I love them so much.
I love them so much.
Yeah.
And also, of course, the whole Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding.
Yes. See, that was the beginning of
rad.
my figure skating era. You know, was that whole thing, and I was like, whoa. Sign me up. This is so entertaining.
Why?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Man. Yeah. I love the Olympics. I did watch Simone Biles in the Summer Olympics, and she blew me away. She was fantastic. You know whose that is, right? The gymnast.
Yeah, and her story is
similar.
And also all of those girls who were abused by their coach, I don't think he's the only one.
Yeah.
When you have children who are being trained or who are being paid or who are carrying their family name and reputation and all finances and all of that stuff, it's a lot of pressure, and they are children.
Yep.
And that's, I just wish that we could let children be children and also let people not have to be in such restrictive conditions.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad you enjoyed Tara and Johnny on Traders, because they were like a delight. I just loved them.
I did.
I loved every second of it.
Yeah. So, Katie, the Olympics, are they for you non-toxic, toxic-ish, or a toxic waste of time?
I don't think they're toxic at all. I loved every second of it. I also appreciated, shout out to Peacock, honestly, because like their streaming thing where you can just catch up on stuff without it, you know, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to watch it. That made it non-toxic. Because before I would have been like, I have to wake up and watch the skating, you know,
So I'm going to say that the Olympics are toxic-ish because they can fuck up young people.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Yep. Yeah. But since you don't really have like a personal fandom with it, you know.
I don't. Like Jody watches stuff because he's up way earlier than me. And also he sits on the couch more often than me. And so when the Olympics are on, he will often have it on. So he'll watch it. He'll watch some things. Didn't they add skateboarding to the Olympics? Yeah. We've probably watched that. I do recall watching some things.
They
and
had
he kept
breakdancing
calling
in
me.
The Summer Olympics, the last one.
Was that was hilarious.
It was.
That I watched a lot of that.
Okay.
We're getting in here. We're getting into religious differences with religion and politics.
Right, yes.
And people in your life.
Now, something that happened right after we recorded the first half of this discussion was that an article came out on the New York Times talking about Pope Leo and how he has spoken out against our president and his war crimes. And he's not a fan. He also had some points about how people are using Christianity in ways that is incongruent with the actual teachings of that. And I really appreciated that. So I don't know if you were able to go look at that article, Ivy, because it was behind a paywall. Yeah.
But I have seen some things, and more things have happened. He's just canceled his trip to the United States because the Pentagon apparently threatened him. Now, personally, I don't give a shit about the Pope because I don't like any Christian religion. This particular Pope, he seems sweet, but until he actually goes into the Vatican and punishes all of the molesters that they have hidden there, I don't give a shit about the Pope.
Yeah, that's fair.
He is just a dude.
Yeah, and I mean, I appreciate that he's using his position to call out some bad shit. let's get to our actual list here. Why do some people get a pass while others don't? And I guess you're talking about like the things we tolerate from our obnoxious relatives or people that are super close to us. Yeah, but not just
relatives. It's almost like, so, I mean, I have friends who were my friends before this great divide, right? Mm-hmm. And from before, when everyone didn't go around saying, I voted for so-and-so, you need to vote. And the I voted stickers, I hate them.
Really?
I hate them. I hate the obnoxiousness of politics. Like, I liked it before when you just went into the booth in private and you chose your people and then you went out and you hung out with all your friends and you didn't fight about it. Or when on Facebook you were just meeting up with old friends and people showing their silly cat videos. Like, that's what I miss that. But now it's like there are people that you accept some behavior from because you like them more than the people that you don't accept the same behavior from. Like I have a friend, and this particular person, we're going to get a lesson in pronouns now, because I'm not going to tell you even what gender this person is. So you're going to see that we can use they, them for individual people. So I have this one friend, and they are stupid, okay? They post the stupidest things.
Sorry.
Like, just ridiculous. Can't you research that before you post it as though it's fact? It only takes a second for you to Google or perhaps call someone and ask them instead of taking the word for this video, but they continuously insist that these things are happening in the world that are not happening. And so, but I like them. I like them so much. And then
even though they're stupid?
Yes, even though they're stupid.
Okay.
I still have a soft spot for them. But then there's other people who I'm like, fuck right off. But like, if I've known someone for so long and it's hard for me to not like them.
Yeah. I don't have that problem.
No?
Nope. First of all, I don't go on Facebook unless I have to. And this means I don't see the people who post stupid shit there. Nor do I see the people who post things that I would agree with or enjoy. But to me, that's not worth it. That's not a fair trade-off. Like, I just don't want to spend my time scrolling. And the social media that I do use has been curated for my business only. So it's only, like, I only see authors and publishers and voice actors on my social media. Sure, But in terms of, like, people that I am still close to who have been eaten by this cult, the only ones are my blood relatives that I still, like, have any relationship with at all.
Well, see, that's the thing. My blood relatives don't necessarily mean as much to me as my friends.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I haven't cut my relationship entirely with my aunt and my brother, but they're not allowed on my social media. I'm not going to discuss with them anything political.
Yep.
And
but that's getting harder and harder because they want to make it political when it isn't.
Everything. They want to make everything political. Everything has a side now. But like, I just feel like, and I guess for most people it's family that they give the pass to.
Yeah.
I'm not giving a pass to my mom. We argue about it. We fight about it. But I'm also not deleting her from my life.
Yeah. And that is a decision that I have also had to make as well. Just like our relationship has rails around it, Because I know this current climate in our country will not last forever.
Exactly. And that was my next question that I didn't put on here. How do you feel about this concept of the soft landing when they come to their senses, where people are saying we should be gentle when they come and say we were wrong, if they ever do that. And they're calling it a soft landing, like be a safe place for them. And I'm like, first of all, back to the people getting a pass, my friend, he's been my friend since we were kids. He's mostly my husband's friend, but he unfriended me over the politics and stuff.
Yeah.
And I sent him a message and I was like, so I guess you don't want to see us when we come to where you live. And he was like, I just don't want to see your posts. I do still want to see you. I just don't want to see your posts.
Well, that's fine.
And that's fine. Exactly.
That's the way that should have been handled.
That's the way it should have been handled with everybody. I did not call him when we were there because I was still hurt by the things he said to me.
Yeah.
I'm not putting a hard X over our friendship. I'm not putting a hard X over my friendship with the other person.
Yeah.
But people are. People are completely ending relationships over the politics. I would be more likely to completely end a relationship over the religion stuff.
That sounds on brand for you. Because of like learning what you actually went through with that, I was just devastated for you to find out that that's what happened.
The whole thing was...
And I get it. I get your like bitterness about it. And I get your outlook.
They think, my parents still... They think their intentions were good, so I have to believe their intentions were good. They weren't trying to abuse me. It's not like I was abused. I was never abused. I had loving, caring, attentive, present parents.
Right.
Their beliefs hurt me.
Yes.
That's
and so
what hurt
this is
me.
why I have just a difficult time like wrapping my head around exactly what's going to, how I'm going to handle this. Like, so I try to think about my family, because it's really my family. It's not really any of my friends who are involved in what is a cult, in my opinion, and in many people's opinion. It is a high control group. It is a group that wants to take advantage of its members in every possible way and lies to them, gaslights them, manipulates them, etc., etc. So if my parents were involved in like some cult.
The Yellow Deli cult.
If my parents were in the Yellow Deli cult, whatever that one's called, I would want them to have a soft landing if they came out of it. Because thank God.
You got to look at it that way.
Thank God they came out of it. Maybe I can get my family back. Maybe we can rebuild that relationship. And it doesn't like absolve them of everything that they did wrong. It doesn't automatically give them forgiveness. They're going to have to work on that, and it's going to take work. But if my mom were to call me today and be like, Katie, I can't believe that I said those things. I can't believe that I voted for these things. I can't, I'm struggling. And I would be like, okay, let's talk about it. Like I would absolutely support that from anybody who wants to come back and say, I'm reconsidering all this shit that I was involved in. Anything you did wrong to me, we have to discuss.
But what did they do wrong to you? Like because I don't see really anything having been done to me other than the few people who have said mean things to me, two of whom are my aunt and my brother and then a couple of friends.
It is hard to like, in my situation, it's been hard to like make a list of this, and this is what you did wrong. Because like many toxic relationships, it built over time. Like when we're talking about in the episode about going no contact, a lot of those people that had gone no contact with their family were saying like, it's not just one thing. Like there may have been a big straw that broke the camel's back, but it just slowly over time. Like, my dad forced me to listen to Rush Limbaugh every morning on the way to school when he was driving me. Stuff like that. Like I was a captive audience. He made me listen to that.
But all parents have control of the radio.
Yeah, but we could have been listening to Celine Dion, man. We could have been listening to music or something that
You
didn't
could have. That's
make
true.
me feel
That's true.
like I was judged and unworthy and like everything I thought was wrong and I'm an idiot if I don't believe this person. And you know what I mean? Like we could have been listening to something that wasn't toxic. We could have been.
That's true.
We could have been having a conversation with each other and bonding that way. And instead,
absolutely.
he
And
chose
you can
that.
bond. You can, when you listen to music, you can still have conversations.
Right. Yeah.
And
That's
and
just
I'm
one thing
sorry
that
that
comes
you
to
had
mind.
to listen to Rush Limbaugh.
It's not as bad as what you went through, I don't think.
No, but
it
my
definitely
dad
is.
let me listen to music on the way to modeling
I
school
was not
on
allowed.
Saturdays.
I was not allowed
Okay.
to have headphones on.
Well, that was my next question was why could you not have your own while he was driving you to school?
And that was one of the reasons
So it was
that
important to him that you actually listened to an adult program.
Mm-hmm. Because from his perspective, I was smart enough to understand.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was really like my indoctrination into that whole mindset, which it took me a while to break out of, but I did eventually.
Because, see, I think my parents knew better because of all the questions that I asked. I think they knew the road that I was about to get on. Mm-hmm. And I think that they didn't want to, like, in a closed space like that, me and my dad and Rush Limbaugh, I can't even imagine the questions and the things that I would have said that he would have had to answer. And so he would rather just listen to music with me.
I can see that.
Wow.
Okay, so we talked about Facebook a little bit earlier. Let's talk about the algorithm and how this actually apparently works. I'm not a scientist, okay?
Isn't it wild?
But it is wild. I do want to point out that, for instance, if you see people on social media who are saying like, please like this video because somehow the wrong side of TikTok has me in their sights and now they are bullying me, they're harassing me, my videos are getting shown to the bad guys, come help me out. I guess do help them out. But the reason that has happened is because the algorithm pushes content to people who comment and engage with it, right? So if you disagree with someone and you watch their video all the way through because it pisses you off, then you leave a comment that says, fuck you, you're stupid. Then you send that to your friend to be like, can you believe this bitch? That is going to push that lady's video to all the people that also
the negative
think like
comments.
That.
The algorithm loves the negative because everybody loves the negative. Everybody loves, they come here with their popcorn and their picture of Michael Jackson in the Thriller video eating the popcorn on because they love
Michael Jackson.
Have you not seen that meme with Michael Jackson dressed up for the Thriller video eating the popcorn while people are commenting around him? I love that shit. People love the negative, and that is the algorithm is run by the negative.
The algorithm is designed to maintain your attention, and it has been mathematically proven that people pay attention more when they're pissed off about something.
When they're pissed off, rage bait.
Yep, that's why rage bait exists. So that's what the algorithm is doing. And that's one of the reasons that I personally have tried to disengage with it as much as I can. I have been still had some negative interactions from people on there, but I do curate my stuff.
There is so much vague garbage and rage bait. And every single morning, everyone teasing me that Donald Trump is dead on Threads.
Oh, I haven't even seen that.
Oh, my God. There's like,
see, we're on different
did it
internets.
happen? Did it happen? Did he die? Did it happen? Did it happen? Hey, did it happen? I'm like,
I feel like we'll know when it happens.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like, you know, that moment in Star Wars where I think is it Obi-Wan Kenobi that he's like, a great force just, we felt this.
Yeah, you're going to feel it in the universe.
Whatever it is, you're going to feel it and you're going to be like, it's going to feel like the best fart you've ever had.
Yeah, but then you're going to get gas again when you realize J.D. Vance is the president.
And then you're going to be like, oh no. That's how it's going to feel. Okay, anyway, not sure why you put this on the list, but Santa and 6-year-olds.
I didn't. I thought you did.
What did I put?
I didn't put Santa and 6-year-olds on the list. I hate Santa Claus.
I know. I was like, Ivy hates Santa. Okay, here's what I wanted to say to the listeners. Okay, so this is one reason that it bothers me that people are so divided, because, like, if a 6-year-old can understand this, then so you can as well, okay? I have taught kindergarten through 8th grade children in my career as a teacher.
Okay.
I was teaching 1st grade when this happened, so these are 6-year-olds. And I taught a lesson on ancient Egypt. And I think I told you this, but we didn't put it in the episode, so here it is again.
Okay.
So I was teaching this lesson on ancient Egypt and in my art class, and I wanted the kids to understand some context about the images that they were seeing in the artwork. And so I taught them about the ancient Egyptian myths a little bit, and I was very clear with them that I was like, this is what the ancient Egyptians believed in. Nobody is telling you that you have to believe in it. You're allowed to believe whatever you want to believe. It's just important for you to understand what we're looking at. You know, you have to know why they did these things, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes that would prompt a discussion with the kids about how they have different beliefs than someone else, right? And I always explain it like this. So if I believe in Santa Claus, it is not my job to make sure that Ivy believes in Santa Claus too, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's much more important that Ivy and I can stay friends than it is for her to also believe the same thing as me. You know, It's not Ivy's job to convince me that Santa Claus is not real. And in fact, if we're going to argue about it, we probably just shouldn't talk about it because, you know, it's really like our friendship's more important than that, you know? And the kids would always be like, oh, yeah, totally. Like 100%. I would rather be your friend than fight with you about that.
Right.
You know, there you go. That's all.
Yeah, when I told that kid, when I was 6 and I told a kid there was no Santa Claus, it was his mom that was mad at me, not him.
Yeah, because the mom had done a lot of legwork to make sure that he believed in it because she was entertained by it, I guess.
Because she likes to lie to her children.
She loves to lie, I guess. So deconstruction, is that a word that you put or did I put it?
I don't know who put it there, but I use a different word.
Okay.
Because I don't feel like I was ever constructed. I think we talked about this a little bit last time. My parents failed. So I use the word disentanglement because I was tangled up in it, but I was not constructed.
Yeah. Oh, I was fully constructed?
Yeah.
I was
that's
a Lego
difference.
set with directions. They had me put together according to the rule book, you know? I had to fully and it was a slow process for me. Like, I think the first moment that it really started to happen was when I made friends with a real life gay person.
Same.
And I was like, wait a minute, you're the coolest person. I want to be your friend. And we have so much in common. And why would we not be friends? And then he told me he was gay. And I was kind of like, I actually don't care. You know, like I would rather be your friend. And it was the Santa Claus thing. It was like, even if I at that time was like, oh, it's a sin or whatever, like I didn't give enough of a fuck to cut him loose from my life because of that. And I was like, maybe that's not that important to me. You know?
Did you ever have, because this happened to me a lot, the fear of the punishment of God.
Yeah.
Did you ever, I can remember a few times where I had gone out on the weekend and maybe went to a drag show and then something bad happened afterward and my immediate thought was, I'm being punished for doing this and or another event or whatever has taken place, which is what led me back to church as an adult also. It's that fear that is put into
guilt.
You. I don't believe, but if I'm wrong, he's punishing me because God's not nice. He's not this kind and loving God according to the way I was brought up. He's gonna banish me to hell. You know, or he's going to punish me by doing this or taking this away from me or giving cancer to this person or whatever. That's what I always felt the fear of disentangling myself. Like if I do this.
They want you to feel afraid. They want you to feel guilty. It's cult shit. The next thing on your list was political and religious violence. which I have a lot to say about.
Well, I just wanted to know if you knew about these two stories.
Yes.
So you do know about the girl whose dad just killed her in Texas and the guy
Yes.
who they got into a knife fight.
I don't think I knew as much
Over
about the
Donald
knife fight,
Trump.
but I did hear about the other.
Well, I put his picture at the bottom of this. If you scroll up,
I
where'd
think
it
I
go?
deleted it because it had Trump's face in it, and I didn't want to see it. Like, honestly, I was like, "Ew, Ivy."
Okay, so for the listeners, there was a YouGov study that was done that said 26% of liberals under 45 years old, compared with 12% of liberals 45 and older, said political violence can sometimes be justified.
Yeah.
And that is higher than the, 12% of moderates, 45 old, compared with 6% of moderates said it's sometimes justified. And the conservatives, far fewer said it was sometimes justified. However, I can't find any stories anywhere of any liberal committing any violence against any conservative.
The reason I was pointing out, like, what study is this? What, send me the link, is because I want listeners to understand that studies are so easily manipulatable. You can very easily cherry pick information.
Yeah.
You can, sway them one way or another. The organization that funds the study is often trying to achieve a certain result from it.
Absolutely.
So always take those with
Absolutely.
several grains of salt whenever you see them. And in particular, this is one reason I had to stop arguing with my mom about politics, because she would find a quote unquote study to prove me wrong.
Just
for
like when the
whatever I said.
vaccine, just
Yep.
like when the COVID vaccine. But in my experience, it is the liberals who are more vocally and outwardly angry. And this is a manipulation of the conservatives. The conservative people are the ones that are saying, "Oh, you get so angry. You want to punch me, blah, blah, blah." You know what I mean? They are the ones who they kind of goad. Like my brother and my aunt would goad me or goad my friends into, like my mother does with me, push the buttons until you explode.
Yeah.
Yes. But then also my conservative friends on, say, the internet, those are the ones who, when Charlie Kirk got killed, "Oh, the liberals want a gunfight." And, they're all like threatening things, saying things, but it's the liberals who then are the ones who either end the relationship or get angry and say something. And it's a manipulation. Like you said, it's a total manipulation.
Yeah. Well, there's generalization going on both sides of
Absolutely.
that. But let's remember that there have been several people who tried to assassinate our current president. And were they his supporters? It's a little unclear. Political violence is just bad, and it's not the way to go, ever. Period. End of sentence. It's not going to work.
In general is not.
It's not going to further your cause. It's only going to divide us deeper. It's only going to make things worse, And at the time that happened, I remember talking to my mom and being like, "I'm actually really glad that he wasn't killed, that Trump wasn't killed, because if he had been, that would have been a civil war before the election, And now I don't know if I feel that way or not.
So same. I actually posted on Facebook that I was disappointed in my friends who were posting things like maybe next time, and but different reason. At the time, I just don't want to see. Same with Charlie Kirk. I wish that Charlie Kirk wasn't dead, because it's not the answer. Violence is not the answer. Gun violence is
not,
killing people.
not ever.
I'm not going to the other shooting victims and being like, "Wait, let me make sure we had the same political views before I say whether or not I'm sad that you died."
Exactly.
So I said on Facebook, I'm glad Donald Trump did not die because I don't want to see a human being shot down like that. I have kind of changed my mind now. Like at that time, I still was like, well, you can believe what you believe and I'm going to believe what I believe and we're going to be fine and everything's going to be okay. And we can all have differences of opinions and everything's great. So, but then all of this other stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like,
but the thing is, like, liberals, leftists, if you're pissed off, if you're angry, if you want to punch someone in the face, if you whatever, all of that stuff, you've got to think more carefully and be the cooler head. And remember that in evangelicalism, being a martyr is the best thing you can do.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
And if you let that person become a martyr for what they believe, look what's happened with Charlie Kirk. Like, they have pictures of him, like, being welcomed into heaven by Jesus and blah, blah, blah. Like, see, that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
They'll
totally
just
made
spin
him
it
into a
again and
martyr.
again. And so just the violence, like, it has to stop. It is never going to be acceptable. That's full stop. Never.
But I think that this study, what I'm trying to get across is that I think that the liberals are just more vocally angry than the conservatives who just want to call us snowflakes. So they're more vocally angry, so they come across as perhaps more like, oh yeah, fuck that guy, I want to punch. I was looking for articles about political and religious violence. Like, again, I could not find a single thing, not a single thing where a liberal went and attacked a conservative physically. Not one thing. But I did find 2 stories where it was a Trump person who committed the violence.
Pinning down someone's actual political beliefs, who this person was definitely mentally unstable because they committed this act of violence, right? It's going to always be muddy, you know? But all that says to me is that it's not really about politics anymore. I think that all that shows is that it's too easy to get a gun in this country and that there's too little support for mental health, you know?
Well, that's the whole thing with the whole fucking Charlie Kirk thing is why did they not take that as the opportunity to address the gun problem in this country?
Because gun lobbyists pay for everything.
I know, but that's my point. It's like, hello, it's freaking obvious. We thought when Covenant School shooting happened here, we thought for a split second, I thought, oh, well, the governor's wife's friends died.
No one's going to do anything about it until it is financially beneficial for them to do something about it. I mean, that's the same.
It's all about money with these people, and that's where the politics and the religion can relate to each other because they're both all about the money.
Yeah, for sure. So you asked about going no contact over these differences. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think?
I can tell you this. The minute that I deleted and unfriended or blocked and unfriended my brother from Facebook, my life got better.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, I didn't go no contact with my brother. I unblocked him on my phone to tell him happy birthday. We have since discussed our mother. I have not that was my biggest question when I blocked him in the first place was like, well, can I unblock him to tell him happy birthday? He's still my brother. I just don't want him trying to force me to accept his savior as mine. Like, I don't want that. It has been peaceful to not have that to deal with. The horrible things that he would say to me or the supposed, trying to be loving things he would say to me. No contact, I don't know, because I'm not no contact with anyone.
Yeah.
You're not allowed on my social media. We're not going to talk about politics. If you start preaching your Jesus shit to me, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is absolutely fucking worth it to go no contact because no contact does not have to be permanent.
Exactly.
And if you've set a boundary that you don't discuss politics with family and they cannot respect that boundary, then you need to enforce it by leaving. Remove yourself. And this is why I always take my own car to family gatherings. I do not stay with family anymore when I visit them. And we get an Airbnb or whatever, because I would rather pay for that than have the stress of being like forced to stay in their house when they want to fight so bad that they're pushing my buttons to make me explode.
That's
because
my
it's
problem.
fun.
I have to stay at my mom's. I don't have a choice.
Yeah. So you said it's not about the difference of beliefs, but how the differences are handled. And I mean, I disagree with
You
that.
just said it. If you cannot talk about it, then that's the way to do it. If one of you has to talk about it, it's the same thing as my mother losing her best friend because she wouldn't stop talking about Jesus. When you think that what you believe is so important and so true that you do not have to respect my beliefs, but I have to respect yours.
Yeah,
that's
the
fucking
thing.
Disrespectful.
Your religion does not control my behavior.
Yeah,
controls
the Bible
yours.
says. Well, the Bible says. I'm like, well, I don't believe in the Bible, so why do you have to tell me what the Bible says? That's disrespectful. It is disrespectful. If you can handle your differences with me with respect, then I can be respectful of you.
I agree with that, but I will also add that if your belief is that it's okay to deport someone or drop them off in a foreign country without due process, then I think that tells me enough about you. You know?
But do you think that the people who call themselves Christians who are conservatives, do you think that they would actually, if that person was in front of them, because they're not actually listening, they don't actually believe what we are saying about what they're doing to these people.
Yeah, they don't believe us when I say this is happening.
Right,
you know?
They don't believe it. But if it was in front of them, do you think that they would agree with it?
I don't know. I hope.
Because somebody telling you they
would
voted for Trump or that they support Trump or that they're a conservative and all those things, somebody telling you all those things because they're all scripted. They all have the same answers to the same questions.
It's like talking to a telemarketer.
Exactly.
That's what makes me say, like, this has been truly drilled into them, indoctrination, that they're so afraid. I was so accused of indoctrinating children when I was a teacher, and I'm like, y'all are the ones that are indoctrinated, bro.
Exactly.
Y'all,
it's the biggest thou doth protest too much
I know.
I have ever seen in my whole life. I don't believe that they actually believe the things that we are trying to tell them is happening.
That's the thing. Like they've been so deluded and conditioned that everything that the left media says and every media that's not their approved media, you know, it's they have so successfully built this cult that there is no rationalizing your way out of it once you're in, you know?
Well, I used to think, well, they think the same thing about us, so I need to just let them be. But then everything got so insane that it's like I can't even let them be anymore. I have to be like, you are stupid. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, I used to think that. I used to tell myself, they think the exact same thing about me. Like, I disagree with them. They disagree with me. We should just drop it. But things have escalated with the president.
Yeah. And yeah. So here's the thing about political violence. It's just not the way. It's never going to be the way. No matter how justified it seems, it's always going to make things worse. The movement falls apart whenever violence starts to happen. So think way back to season 1, episode 2, which I listened to again this week to make sure that we were right about this. So season 1, episode 2, when we talked about the Homestead Steel Strike. You remember that, Ivy? Yep. People got their guns out and shit got dirty.
Right.
And the movement was set way back because of that. And that's just one example, but that is how it goes. It is a pattern. So when you have violence come into the equation, if there's protests going on, fine, it has to be nonviolent, because once violence happens, then you are vilified and you lose strength in the movement, and it just creates more violence. It's not going to ever work. Ever. Have you seen that movie, One Battle After Another?
No.
Okay. You should watch it.
I don't watch a lot of... We just watch stupid movies.
Well, this one's not stupid. This won the Oscar this year. So for Best Picture.
Then I would hate it.
I don't know. Okay, so let me... All right. Listeners, if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. Not only is it just like a phenomenal film, but it really touches on these points very well. So I'm going to spoil something for you, though. So if you haven't seen it and you want to, then skip ahead a little bit. There is a group in this movie. It's a fictional group, but they're called the Christmas Adventurers. And they are like the white supremacist organization that's like a white supremacist cabal that's in charge of the blah, blah, blah. And looking this up, it's very akin to the Fellowship Foundation and the Heritage Foundation, which we've talked about before, that are real groups that exist. But what happens in that movie is that Sean Penn's character is trying to join this group desperately. To spoil it for you, Ivy, if you're never going to watch it, he's never good enough for them. Aww. Even when he, quote unquote, proves himself to them, he still isn't good enough, and they reject him anyway. And that's what it is.
It's like me trying to be a Christian.
Yes. You know, if you're never going to be good enough to be accepted, then you just have to accept yourself. And so that's what I think, that it's just become like performative with these people that are so loyal to the president, of like, I got to do everything that I can to stay in the correct lane so that he'll accept me, so that he'll endorse me, so that he'll protect me, whatever it is that they're seeking. And then he just drops them like a hot potato whenever they do something that he doesn't like, or that the press doesn't like, or that it becomes clear that he cannot look good if he continues to support them. He just fires them and you're done. You know, so like no matter how hard that they have worked to act like they're good enough for him and that whole group, they're never going to be good enough, ever.
No, especially
if you look at like
the ones
Marjorie Taylor
that
Greene,
don't have penises.
Yes, they're forgetting who divided this country so deeply in the first place. It was not liberals. It was the folks who decided that the only correct way to be was white and male. And like you were just saying, you don't have a penis, so I can't support you.
Yeah, but don't forget,
I can only support you to an extent.
And Christian.
Not really Christian, though. That's the thing. Like, if you really look at what it's teaching and what it's supposed to be, the words of actual Jesus, it's not this.
Yeah, but they don't care.
And they don't care. That's right. So it's like, it's almost hard for me to call them Christians, even though that's what they want to call themselves, because they're not walking the walk. I
actually don't believe they ever did. And
There's
the people
you're not 100% wrong about that, but I do think that's a generalization, because I didn't choose that to be better than anybody else.
You didn't choose. You were put there.
I was, but I continued to practice it once I, had a choice. I chose to get baptized when I was an adult. And so the reason I did that was because of fear. I was afraid to go to hell. That was the reason.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a better person. I wanted to be as kind as I could, and I wanted to do things right, and that was my motivation. And so, and I understand where you're coming from on this, because what happened to you was fucking bullshit and horrible. But it's hard to put everybody in the same box about why they chose to believe what they believe.
Well, but the people that I know that call themselves Christian that have not veered off of the true teachings of Christ are the people who have either left the church, who have started deconstructing, or the people who now just call themselves Christ followers. If you're only going by the words of Christ, if you're only reading the red words in the Bible, you've got about 4 pages of of Bible, literally, and you can just be that good without the other shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I agree with that part for sure. This is bringing me back to youth group, where they taught us that the only way to convince people to, quote, come to Christ was to walk the walk and show kindness and compassion and treat people the way that we want to be treated. And supposedly, doing this, they will see the light of Christ in you and want to be like you, right? And I feel like that's probably the best way to help people escape this cult as well, is to be kind and not be a dick to them. But they make it real hard. Why are you cackling?
Because the whole walk the walk, show kindness and compassion, treat people the way we want to be treated, unless they're gay.
Yeah.
Unless they're like, because it's not unconditional. It's never been unconditional. There's no such thing as love the sinner, hate the sin. There's no such thing as that. It's all performative. It's all, I just can't with it. Yeah. I can't anymore. Like, but if I tried.
Do you see what I'm trying to say, though?
Yes.
If we take that idea and we apply it to these folks that are in a cult who have been manipulated and taken advantage of, regardless of how they actually believe or think they believe, and they've been deluded, okay? Like, I'm not going to excuse anything that they're doing or what they're voting for. It's messed up. It's not okay. And there is a very fine line for me. I try to show empathy for these folks because, like I said, they've been manipulated and they've been scammed. Like they are victims of a scam. They bought into something and didn't get what they thought they were going to get. And a lot of people are in denial about that and making excuses about it and whatever. But there are people that are starting to wake up and be like, wait a minute. Didn't he run on a platform about, I'm not going to start a war in the Middle East?
So, but also these people, not really narcissistic, but they're so proud.
Righteous,
they're so
self-righteous.
Smug that they will hold on and hold on and hold on because they can't say, I was wrong.
Yeah, and that is, when we talked about narcissism, that is a trait of a narcissist. Is like double, triple down on what your point is. You will never get them to accept that they were wrong or apologize ever. But it's also been modeled by the leaders of this group to the point that is now the MO of just behavior for everybody.
Double down.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If they want to get nasty with me and argue, I will leave. But for instance, if someone says something to me that I disagree with, as a sentient, intelligent human being, am capable of saying, here's what you got to understand about that, and sort of calmly explain to them what they're missing. And the last time that happened to me was probably in this conversation with you, Ivy, where we might have disagreed about something, but we are capable of discussing it, and you might still be like, that's not I'm not convinced. And I'm like, okay, I still love you. You know?
And then you move on to something else.
You move on. We're like, all right, that's fine. It's not important enough to me to argue about it with you. I'm not going to die on that hill. Right?
Yeah, I just don't understand why these people think everything is so goddamn important in religion and and politics too. Okay, politics a little more dangerous, a little more a little more real than religion, right?
A lot more real.
A little more.
I think it's a lot more real. But I did have a conversation. I explained to them, like, here's something you got to understand about what you're saying, because I had a different perspective than they did. And at the end of the conversation, they said, yeah, okay, I can see that. And then we moved on and it was fine. We just respected each other. It was cool.
About Daria?
About Daria. Okay.
I was like, is she talking about Daria?
Yeah, Daria. La, 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 la.
I know who Daria is.
You good. Okay, so I think
I only know her from Beavis and Butthead, so very...
Oh,
I did not ever watch... I've seen it, but I didn't watch her show.
Oh, it's really good. It actually holds up really well, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think maybe we can bridge a little bit of a gap between our two generations with the sarcastic Gen X queen and fashion icon, Daria Morgendorffer, who I dressed up as for Halloween multiple times.
Nice.
I want to quote Daria's graduation speech to you.
Okay.
So when she graduated high school, she said, and her advice to her classmates was, stand firm for what you believe, until and unless logic and experience prove you wrong. Remember, when the emperor looks naked, the emperor is naked. The truth and a lie are not sort of the same thing. And there is no aspect, no facet, no moment of life that can't be improved with pizza.
Yes, Daria.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want us to remember that.
I really love
the emperor is very much naked right now.
I posted that whole story once on Facebook just because I was like, hey, maybe this will help one person. And there's a song, there's a Sinead O'Connor song called The Emperor's New Clothes, which is a fabulous song. And I listen to it all the time. And the meaning to it has just become even more intense to me through this whole, because Donald Trump is the emperor and motherfucker is naked. And thank God he's not really naked.
Oh my God.
That would
if
be
he
awful.
was, I feel like that might solve the problem. Everyone would be like, I can't look at that anymore. I'm gonna go blind. Like I can't. No.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Do we want to rate this?
Oh, we should rate.
Do we want to rate
the toxicity?
The toxicity level of combining politics and religion with your relationships?
I don't think that the listeners will have picked up on it yet. But this shit is as toxic as it gets.
Oh my God. So
this is 5 out of 5
toxic.
hairy cock bags.
Yes.
Toxic.
Yes.
5 out of 5 hairy
5 out of 5
bags.
hairy cock bags. Yes. Yes. All right. Now, toxic waste of time. Full circle here, the name of our podcast and what is going on in our world, our country right now is a toxic motherfucking piece of shit waste of time.
Think of the stuff we could be doing if we could just not with this shit. If we could just fucking fix climate change, fucking fix poverty, get everybody their human rights, get people some healthcare.
Stop war and religion.
Stop having stupid wars. Stop forcing your beliefs on other people and move on. I'm just, yeah. Okay.
Oh, is it time for the vocab word of the week?
It is. It's time for the vocab word of the week. I learned a word this week. Okay, this word is credulous.
Credulous.
I'm sure you've heard the word incredulous. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So incredulous means I don't believe that. How dare, that's sort of the vibe of incredulous. That's those sounds. That's what it means. Credulous is an adjective. It means ready to believe, especially on slight or uncertain evidence. So credulous is sort of akin to being gullible.
Yeah, sounds that way. Ready to believe, like you're eager.
Ready to believe.
That's like the kind of people that religions and cults prey on.
Yes, confirm my biases. Yes. Confirm that what I already thought was correct without me having to do any research or think about it myself. Just feed it to me and tell me what's right already without me having to put the energy toward
like children
deciding.
With their parents. Children are credulous to their parents.
Yes.
My granddaughter just the other day informed me that I don't believe God.
That you don't?
She said, you don't believe God. And I said, who told you that? And she said, Mama, which is her great-grandmother. She said, but that's okay because we pray every day that you and Daddy will believe God.
I am so sorry. I'm sure that was really gross and hurtful for you to hear that from your granddaughter.
Well, I got a little mad. She doesn't know. She does not know I got a little mad. did not.
She doesn't need to be
I
involved
did
in
not
that.
take
Yeah.
anything out on the
Right,
child.
of course. Yeah.
But yeah, that made me a little mad. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, because that's the whole thing with my family, my whole life, telling me they're praying to change me.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
How about
Thought
you
liked
love me
the way I am.
You know what? Like, listen.
Children are credulous.
Yes, children are credulous. People who anybody can be credulous. Like I know that people who are in a liberal bubble can also be this way.
Right, but
just easily believing whatever is presented to them.
It
without
says
research.
ready to believe. It almost feels like waiting. Like I'm waiting for you to tell me what to believe.
Yeah, it's giving confirmation bias. For sure. Okay, wow. We made it through that discussion, you guys. Oh my God. And we didn't kill each other. Look at us.
Yeah, I know, right? No,
we didn't completely agree on things, but we talked about it, and I see where you're coming from, and I don't blame you after that shit. Life is just going to be like this, guys. You're never going to agree with everybody. You just have to go about it respectfully. And if we could, we'd be fine, I think.
Just be kind.
It's just don't be an asshole. That's the rule of this podcast. Don't be an asshole. And that's it. Wow. Yeah. Podcast over. Bye. Okay, listeners, thank you for sticking with us through that whole tense discussion. And I'm really proud of you, especially if your beliefs were challenged. I am proud of you for listening to people who might disagree with you and considering other sides. If you would like to respond to us in any way, please leave us a comment. That's cool. You can leave us a comment if you disagree with us. That's allowed.
You can send us an email, too, if you disagree with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be an asshole, but you're allowed to disagree. If you want to reach us, what do the listeners have to do, Ivy?
Email contact@toxicwasteoftime.com or visit us on social media at Instagram and Facebook at Toxic Waste of Time.
Also, Reddit. We're trying to get that to
that's
pop off.
right. Reddit.
Yeah. Come discuss with us on Reddit. I love Reddit. I'm there all the time. I don't want to be the only one commenting on these things, though. So, someone come say something. All right. So be sure to join us next time when we will be talking about another kind of intense topic. We will be talking about ancestral relationships and generational trauma. So unpacking what that means, maybe some of our own generational trauma and what those relationships look like for us. So it's going to be enlightening. Looking forward to that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Okay.